Introduction to Face Your Fears. Hello, dear reader. Welcome to a journey unlike any other. A journey where you will learn to face your fears and embrace your true potential. Face Your Fears is a heartening, practical guide that aims to help you overcome the obstacles holding you back and unleash the creativity and potential that lie within you. Authored by a motivational speaker and expert in personal development, this book is carefully designed to inspire and motivate you in simple, easy-to-understand language. We all have fears, some big, some small, that keep us from living fully, exploring new opportunities, and achieving our dreams. Fear can be a powerful force, but it doesn't have to control you. This book will equip you with the tools and understanding you need to confront your fears head-on and transform them into stepping stones for growth. What you will gain from this book. 1. Self-awareness. Get to know yourself better. Understand your fears and the reasons behind them. This knowledge is the first step towards conquering them. 2. Confidence. Build unshakable confidence through practical and actionable advice. Feel empowered to tackle challenges instead of avoiding them. 3. Creativity. Unlock your creative potential. Learn how overcoming fear can unleash a wave of innovation and creativity in your life. 4. Resilience. Develop resilience. Understand that setbacks are part of the journey and learn strategies to bounce back stronger each time. 5. Fulfillment. Live a more fulfilling and enriched life by pursuing what truly matters to you, without being held back by fear. In Face Your Fears, each chapter is enriched with relatable stories, practical examples, and easy-to-follow exercises. The insights and strategies you gain from this book are intended to be applicable in everyday situations, making it a resource you can return to anytime for inspiration and guidance. Whether you're aiming to advance in your career, build stronger relationships, or simply live a more joyful and fulfilling life, this book is your companion on the voyage of personal development. With each chapter, you'll be a step closer to facing your fears, overcoming your barriers, and living a life of limitless possibilities. Are you ready to take the first step toward a life where fear no longer holds you back? If so, let's embark on this transformative journey together. Thank you for choosing to read Face Your Fears. Now let's dive in and start this exciting adventure of self-discovery and growth. Chapter 1. Introduction to Fear. Fear is a feeling as ancient as humanity itself. It's that nagging sensation in the pit of your stomach when you're about to do something brave or uncertain. Whether it's speaking in public, facing a difficult conversation, or trying something new, fear is the one emotion we all experience regardless of who we are. But what exactly is fear, and where does it come from? The nature of fear. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat. This response is part of our survival mechanism, and it has kept humans alive for thousands of years. Imagine our ancestors living in the wild, needing to react quickly to dangers like predators. That immediate reaction of fear spurred them into action, either to fight the threat or flee from it, hence the term fight or flight. Today, the threats we face are hardly ever life-threatening but more psychological. A looming deadline at work, the pressure to succeed in school, or the fear of being judged by others. These are the modern versions of those ancient predators. Origins of fear. The origins of fear lie in the brain. When we perceive something as threatening, our brain's amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure, springs into action. It sends signals to release stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This physiological response was paramount to our ancestors' survival, and it still helps us today in genuine emergencies. For example, if you see a car speeding towards you, your amygdala triggers an instant response to jump out of the way. However, when you feel similar fear while thinking about giving a presentation, that fear is less useful and more of a hindrance. Daily impact of fear. Fear affects our daily lives in countless ways. It holds us back from doing things we need to do or even enjoy doing. It can make us procrastinate, lead to stress and anxiety, and stop us from reaching our potential. Consider this. Have you ever wanted to pursue a hobby but stopped because you felt you weren't good enough? Have you ever avoided a social event out of fear of being judged? These small acts of avoidance can accumulate, creating barriers that prevent us from living our fullest lives. The need to face our fears. So why should we face our fears? Simply put, confronting fear allows us to grow. When we avoid what scares us, we are giving fear more power over our lives. But when we face it head-on, we diminish its control and open up new possibilities for personal development. Imagine wanting to learn how to swim because you love the ocean, but fear keeps you away from lessons. By facing that fear, taking a few steps into the shallow end, and gradually learning to float and swim, you gradually conquer your fear and open up an entire world of enjoyment and physical activity. The journey ahead. This book is about understanding fear, dealing with it, and using it as a tool for personal growth. As we proceed, you'll gain insights into your own fears and learn scientific and practical strategies to manage them. Whether it's fear in your personal relationships, professional life, or creative endeavors, you will discover ways to build courage and live a more empowered life. Remember, fear is natural, but it doesn't have to be a roadblock. It can be an indicator of areas where you have room to expand and evolve. By facing fear, you step into a life that's richer, fuller, and infinitely more exciting. Welcome to your journey of conquering fear. It's time to embrace it and grow beyond it. Chapter 2. Understanding your own fears. We all have fears. It's a universal truth. But do you truly know what you're afraid of? Understanding your fears is the first step toward conquering them. This chapter encourages self-reflection to help you pinpoint your personal fears and offer exercises and tools to dig deep into your mind. Discovering your fears will lead you toward a path of growth and courage, allowing you to embrace life's challenges with vigor. Self-reflection, the key to understanding. Knowing yourself, truly knowing yourself, is the foundation of overcoming fear. It's not about eliminating fear entirely. It's about understanding where it comes from and why it affects you the way it does. Self-reflection means looking inward, examining your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. Exercise 1. Journaling your fears. 1. Set aside time. Find a quiet place and dedicate at least 15-20 minutes to this exercise. 2. Write freely. In your journal, write about things that scare you. Don't think too much, just let your thoughts flow. Think about situations that make you anxious or uneasy. 3. Ask yourself why. For each fear you wrote down, ask yourself why it scares you. Write down your answers. This could uncover deeper underlying fears. 4. Reflect. After you've written everything, take a few moments to read through and reflect on what you've noted. Example. Imagine you noted that you're afraid of public speaking. By asking yourself why, you might discover it's because you're afraid of being judged or making mistakes in front of others. Understanding this deeper fear can help you address it directly. Tools to dig deep. To further uncover your fears, use specific tools and techniques designed for deep self-reflection. Exercise 2. The 5 Whys technique. This simple yet powerful tool involves asking why 5 times to get to the root cause of your fear. 1. Identify a fear. Start with a fear you wrote about. 2. Ask why. Why does this fear exist? Note your answer. 3. Repeat. For each answer, ask why again. 4. Continue until you have asked why 5 times. This will help you peel back the layers and reach the core of your fear. Example. 1. I'm afraid of failing at my new job. 2. Why? Because I don't want to disappoint my boss. 3. Why? Because I think disappointing my boss will ruin my career. 4. Why? Because I believe one mistake can define my future. 5. Why? Because I lack confidence in my own abilities. Exercise 3. Fear mapping. Fear mapping involves creating a visual representation of your fears and understanding how they are connected. 1. Draw a circle. In the center of a blank page, draw a circle and write down a major fear. 2. Branch out. From this circle, draw lines outward to smaller circles. In these smaller circles, write down related fears. 3. Connect the dots. See if you can connect the smaller circles with lines, showing how one fear might relate to another. Example: suppose your central circle is fear of failure. Branch out to related fears like fear of rejection, fear of judgment, and fear of disappointment. Next, see if these smaller fears connect. Maybe fear of judgment is connected to fear of rejection. Moving forward, owning your fears. Understanding your fears is an ongoing process. It's about owning your fears and not letting them control you. By being aware, you empower yourself to take the first steps in overcoming them. Exercise 4. Positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are statements you repeat to encourage a positive mindset. They help in diminishing the power of your fears. 1. Identify negative beliefs. Look at the fears you've identified. Notice any negative beliefs or thoughts. 2. Turn them into positives. Transform these negative beliefs into positive affirmations. 3. Repeat daily. Say these affirmations to yourself daily. Example: if a fear is, "I'm not good enough to succeed," turn it into, "I have the skills and knowledge to succeed." By taking these exercises and tools seriously, you can transform your understanding of fear from a vague, uncomfortable feeling into a clear, tangible force. This clarity is your first victory. Remember, you have the power to understand your fears, and with understanding comes the power to change. In the next chapter, we will delve into the science of fear, unraveling why our brains react the way they do, and how this knowledge can guide us toward bravery and resilience. Chapter 3: The Science of Fear. Introduction. Welcome to Chapter 3: The Science of Fear. We all experience fear at some point in our lives, but have you ever wondered why we feel afraid? Understanding the science behind fear can help you face and manage it more effectively. In this chapter, we'll explore the psychological and biological aspects of fear. We'll break down how our brains react to fear and stress in a way that is easy to understand. The brain's response to fear. Our brains have complex systems designed to keep us safe. When we feel scared, it's our brain's way of telling us that something might be dangerous. Let's look at the main players in our brain when it comes to fear: the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the prefrontal cortex. 1. The amygdala. The amygdala is like an alarm system. It detects potential threats and triggers a fear response. Small but powerful, the amygdala is responsible for our feelings of fear and anxiety. Imagine you see a snake. Your amygdala immediately signals danger, even before you have a chance to think about it. 2. The hypothalamus. Once the amygdala signals danger, the hypothalamus takes over. It acts like a command center and sends messages to the rest of the body to prepare for action. This is what we call the fight or flight response. If you see that snake, your hypothalamus will immediately increase your heart rate and pump adrenaline through your bloodstream, preparing you to either run away or defend yourself. 3. The prefrontal cortex. After the amygdala and hypothalamus have done their job, the prefrontal cortex comes into play. This part of the brain helps you make more rational and calculated decisions. Using the snake example, while your amygdala is screaming danger and your hypothalamus is readying your body, your prefrontal cortex might calmly remind you that the snake is behind a glass wall at the zoo and cannot hurt you. Biological reactions to fear. When the brain detects fear, it causes biological reactions throughout the body. Here are some simple ways these reactions happen. 1. Increased heart rate. Your heart starts beating faster to pump more blood to your muscles, giving you the energy boost needed to respond to the threat. 2. Rapid breathing. You breathe faster to take in more oxygen, which is then delivered to your muscles. 3. Adrenaline rush. This hormone floods your system, sharpening your senses and providing a burst of strength and speed. 4. Sweating. Your body starts to sweat to cool down and avoid overheating during a quick physical response. The role of stress. Fear and stress are closely related. Stress is a state of mental or emotional strain due to demanding circumstances. When you face prolonged fear, it often leads to stress. Acute versus chronic stress. Acute stress is short-term stress. It provides the immediate burst of energy needed to respond to danger. For instance, if a dog suddenly barks at you, you might jump but quickly calm down afterward. Chronic stress is long-term stress. It happens when you're exposed to threats or worries for extended periods. Chronic stress can harm your health and well-being. For example, constantly worrying about job security can lead to chronic stress. Understanding fight or flight. The fight or flight response is a fundamental aspect of how we deal with fear. This automatic response helps keep us alive by preparing us to face or escape threats. However, these reactions developed when humans faced immediate dangers like predators. In today's world, the same reactions can be triggered by less life-threatening situations, like public speaking or meeting new people. Modern-day fears. While our ancestors worried about wild animals and food scarcity, modern-day fears often stem from social and psychological threats. 1. Public speaking. Fear of standing in front of a crowd and speaking can trigger the same fight or flight response as a physical threat. 2. Failure. The fear of failing, especially in career or academic settings, can cause stress and fear responses similar to those faced in dangerous situations. 3. Rejection. The fear of being judged or rejected by peers can lead to feelings of fear and anxiety. Conclusion. Understanding the science of fear empowers us to manage and overcome it. Our brains and bodies have evolved to protect us from harm through sophisticated systems. By comprehending how these systems work, we can start to control our fear responses better. As you move forward, remember that fear is a natural and essential part of being human. With this knowledge, you are better equipped to face your fears and live a more courageous life. Now, let's continue our journey by exploring how to build and harness courage in the next chapter. Chapter 4. Building Courage. Building courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. It's like a muscle. You can strengthen it with practice and patience. In this chapter, we will explore practical steps to build courage and introduce inspiring stories of individuals who overcame their fears. Step 1. Start small. Imagine courage like climbing a staircase. You wouldn't start by jumping to the top. You'd take it one step at a time. Begin with small, manageable challenges. If speaking in front of a large group scares you, start by sharing your thoughts in a small meeting or to a few friends. Example. Imagine someone who was afraid of swimming. They didn't jump straight into the deep end on the first day. Instead, they began by wading in the shallow water until they felt comfortable. Gradually, they built up to deeper water and eventually learned to swim confidently. Step 2. Acknowledge your fear. Understanding and admitting your fear is crucial. Denying it gives it more power over you. By acknowledging it, you take the first step towards overcoming it. Example. Think of a writer who was scared of criticism. They acknowledged their fear, which helped them cope better. They reminded themselves that criticism is part of growth. Slowly but surely their fear weakened, allowing them to publish their works and improve through feedback. Step 3. Self-affirmation. Positive affirmations can build your confidence. Say encouraging things to yourself. Remind yourself of times you've succeeded. Write down your achievements and refer to them when you need a boost. Example. Consider someone who had a fear of public speaking. Every day they told themselves, "I am capable and confident," before practicing their speech. Over time, their self-confidence grew, and they found speaking in public less terrifying. Step 4. Develop a support system. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family. Share your fears with them. They can offer encouragement and may have faced similar fears themselves, providing advice on coping strategies. Example. Picture someone afraid of starting a new business. They joined a local entrepreneur group where they met others with the same goal. The group shared its experiences, strengths, and struggles. With the support of their group, the person felt more courageous and moved forward with their business plan. Step 5. Set realistic goals. Set achievable goals to face your fears. Unrealistic goals can discourage you. Break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small accomplishment builds your confidence. Example. Think of a person afraid of heights. They didn't tackle their fear by bungee jumping on day one. Instead, they set a goal to first climb a few flights of stairs. After achieving that, they graduated to higher floors and eventually faced their fear head-on with a skydiving adventure. Step 6. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Understand that failure is not the end, but a step toward success. Every time you fail, you learn what doesn't work, bringing you closer to mastering your challenge. Example. Imagine an artist who feared that their art wouldn't be appreciated. Initially, their pieces didn't receive much attention. Instead of giving up, they learned from the feedback, refined their techniques, and eventually created a masterpiece that was celebrated worldwide. Inspirational stories of overcoming fear. Story 1. Overcoming the fear of rejection. Once there was a young actor who loved performing, but was terrified of rejection. Repeatedly facing auditions without success shattered his confidence. However, he didn't give up. He kept auditioning and worked on his skills relentlessly. Eventually, his persistence paid off. He landed a role that catapulted his career. The lesson here is clear: perseverance is key. Story 2. Becoming a public speaker. There was a scientist who had groundbreaking research, but was paralyzed by the fear of public speaking. She joined a local Toastmasters club where people practice speaking in a supportive environment. Step by step, she worked on her skills, starting with short speeches to a small group. Today, she confidently presents her research at international conferences, influencing scientific thought and inspiring others. Conclusion. Building courage is a gradual process, but with small steps, acknowledgement, self-affirmation, support, realistic goals, and learning from failure, you can transform your fears into strengths. Remember, every courageous act, no matter how small, propels you towards a more fearless life. Every instance of facing your fears expands your horizons and opens doors to new opportunities. Keep this in mind and start today. After all, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day whispering, "I will try again tomorrow." Chapter 5. Facing Fear in Relationships. A journey from fear to connection. Relationships are the heartbeats of our lives. They are what sustain us during tough times and enhance our joyous moments. However, navigating the waters of personal relationships can be intimidating. It's common to feel fear, but understanding and confronting these fears can build stronger and healthier connections. Let's explore some of the most common fears in relationships and how to face them. Common fears in relationships. Fear of rejection. One of the most profound fears many people experience in relationships is the fear of rejection. Rejection can feel like a personal attack, making us question our worth. Example: imagine you've developed feelings for a friend but hesitate to express them. The fear of them not reciprocating those feelings can be paralyzing. Advice: accept that rejection is a part of life. Instead of focusing on the potential negative outcome, think about what you might gain if your feelings are returned. Even if it doesn't go as hoped, remember that it doesn't diminish your value. Being open can also pave the way for honest communication and true companionship. Fear of vulnerability. Being vulnerable means opening up about your true feelings and experiences, which can be daunting. It involves a level of honesty that leaves your heart exposed. Example: suppose you're struggling with a personal issue and are reluctant to share it with your partner. You might fear that they will think less of you or not understand. Advice: recognize that vulnerability is essential for deep, meaningful relationships. Start small. Share a little bit about your day, how it made you feel, or something you found tough. Gradually, as trust builds, so will your ability to share deeper and more personal issues. Vulnerability can foster intimacy and trust within the relationship. Fear of abandonment. The fear of being abandoned or left alone can stem from past experiences or insecurities. This fear can manifest in various ways, such as clinging to others or pushing them away. Example: you may find yourself constantly needing reassurance from a loved one because you fear they might leave you. Advice: understand that everyone has their journey, and no relationship comes with a guaranteed forever. Build your self-esteem by pursuing interests and goals independently. Trust that you are enough and can thrive even if the relationship changes. Steps to overcome fear in relationships. 1. Communicate openly. Honest communication is key. Share your fears and concerns with your partner. They cannot address what they don't know. 2. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Understand that it's okay to have fears. Everyone does. What matters is how you address them. 3. Seek support. Sometimes talking to a friend, mentor, or therapist can provide new perspectives and tools to cope with fear. 4. Set boundaries. Establish and respect personal boundaries. It's important to feel safe and secure in any relationship. Healthy boundaries enhance trust and respect. 5. Focus on the present. Often fears stem from past experiences or worries about the future. Concentrate on the current moment and the unique dynamics of your current relationship. Building healthier connections. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and open communication. By facing your fears head-on, you pave the way for more genuine connections. Remember, it's okay to be afraid. It's how you handle that fear and move forward that defines the quality of your relationships. Real-life example. Example: once a woman named Jane realized she had a deep fear of expressing her true opinions to her best friend, worrying that it might lead to conflict. She decided to confront this fear. She picked a minor topic to start and gently shared her perspective. To her surprise, her friend was receptive and appreciated the honesty. This small step empowered Jane to be more open and authentic, ultimately strengthening their bond. Conclusion. Facing fear in relationships requires patience, self-awareness, and courage. Each step you take towards confronting these fears brings you closer to building meaningful and resilient connections. Embrace the learning journey and celebrate the progress you make towards living a life filled with authentic relationships. Chapter 6. Fear in Professional Life. In our professional journeys, fear can be a constant companion. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of being inadequate, or the notorious imposter syndrome, these fears can hold us back from achieving our true potential. In this chapter, we'll explore these fears and offer practical strategies to overcome them, so you can achieve professional success. Understanding fear in the professional context. 1. Fear of failure. This is perhaps the most common fear in the professional world. The thought of failing can paralyze us into inaction. We worry about the consequences of failing and what others might think. 2. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the feeling that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. You might feel like a fraud, constantly fearing that you will be found out at any moment. 3. Fear of rejection. Whether it's pitching an idea, asking for a raise, or applying for a new job, the fear of hearing no can stop us from even trying. Let's dive deeper into these fears and find ways to tackle them head-on. 1. Fear of failure. Failure is a natural part of the learning process, yet many of us are conditioned to avoid it at all costs. Here's how to overcome the fear of failure. OA. Reframe failure. Change your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as a setback, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Every successful individual has faced failures. The difference is that they see failures as stepping stones to success. Example: think about a software developer who once released a flawed app. Instead of viewing it as the end of their career, they used the feedback to refine their skills and eventually created a highly successful app. B. Set realistic goals. Sometimes our fear of failure is tied to setting overly ambitious goals. Break your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks. This makes them less intimidating and gives you a sense of achievement as you complete each step. C. Seek feedback. Don't shy away from constructive criticism. Seek feedback as it provides valuable insights and perspectives that can help you improve. 2. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome can make even the most accomplished professionals feel like frauds. Here's how to deal with it. A. Acknowledge your achievements. Keep a record of your accomplishments and review them regularly. This could be a journal, a folder of work you're proud of, or even a list of positive feedback you've received. Reflecting on your past successes can help reaffirm your abilities. Example: a young teacher might doubt her abilities, but looking back at heartfelt notes from students and parents can remind her of the positive impact she has made. B. Talk about it. Imposter syndrome is more common than you might think. Talking to mentors, colleagues, or friends about your feelings can provide support and reveal that many share similar experiences. C. Challenge negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking you don't deserve your success, challenge those thoughts with factual evidence of your competence and hard work. 3. Fear of rejection. Rejection doesn't define your worth or capability. It's a part of life, especially in a competitive professional environment. Here's how to face it. A. Develop resilience. Understand that not every opportunity will result in success, and that's okay. Each rejection is a chance to build resilience and push forward. B. Prepare reasonably. While you can't control every outcome, you can prepare yourself well for job interviews, project pitches, or performance reviews. Being well prepared can boost your confidence. Example: a marketing manager pitches a campaign to a potential client. Even if the client rejects the proposal, she uses the experience to refine her presentation skills and approach. C. Keep perspective. One rejection is not the end of your journey. Often it's a redirection to a path that's more suited for your growth and potential. Each no brings you closer to a yes. Applying strategies to overcome professional fears. To put these strategies into action, let's consolidate a few practical steps. 1. Create a failure log. Document times when fear held you back or when you faced failure. Reflect on what you learned from each experience and how you grew from it. 2. Develop a support network. Build relationships with mentors, colleagues, and friends who can offer constructive feedback, encouragement, and guidance. 3. Set micro goals. Break large goals into smaller, actionable steps and celebrate your progress no matter how small. 4. Regular reflection. Make time regularly to reflect on your achievements and personal growth. This can reinforce your sense of competence and reduce feelings of imposterism. 5. Practice positive affirmations. Use positive affirmations to combat negative thoughts. Remind yourself of your strengths, achievements, and capabilities. Conclusion. Fear in professional life is natural, but it doesn't have to stand in your way. By reframing failure, acknowledging your achievements, and building resilience against rejection, you can overcome these fears and pave the way for professional success. Remember, every journey has its challenges, but with the right mindset and strategies, you can achieve greatness. Embrace your journey with courage and watch as your professional life blossoms. Chapter 7. Using creativity to overcome fear. We often think of creativity as something reserved for artists, writers, and musicians. But creativity is so much more than painting a picture or composing a song. It's a powerful tool that anyone can use, especially when it comes to facing and overcoming fear. The power of creativity. Creativity allows us to express our emotions in ways that words sometimes cannot. When we work on creative activities, we can channel our fears, anxieties, and uncertainties into something tangible. This process often brings a sense of relief and accomplishment, helping to manage and reduce fear. Think back to a time when you were deeply engrossed in a creative activity. Remember how you felt? Chances are, during that time, your fears were pushed to the back of your mind. That's the power of creativity. Finding your creative outlet. You don't need to be a professional artist to benefit from creativity. Everyone has an inner artist, poet, dramatist, or musician. Do you enjoy cooking? Try creating a dish from scratch. Do you like writing? Start a journal or write short stories. Do you feel at peace with nature? Take up gardening. The key is to find what interests you and makes you feel alive. Examples to relate to. Imagine a university student who is terribly anxious about presenting in front of a class. She's always been fond of doodling, but never took it seriously. One day, she decides to turn her key points into fun and colorful sketches. Not only does this make her presentation more interesting, but it also eases her anxiety. The creative process transformed her fear into something manageable. Similarly, think of a new employee who feels overwhelmed by the demands of the job. Outside work, he starts making miniature models of cars, a hobby he loved as a child. As he builds his models, piece by piece, he finds that he is building his confidence too. His pastime provides him a mental break and lets him approach his work challenges with a refreshed perspective. Steps to engage in creative activities. 1. Start small. You don't need to create a masterpiece. Begin with small projects like crafting a simple poem or cooking a new recipe. 2. Make time. Dedicate a specific time each day or week to your creative activity. Consistency will help you see the benefits over time. 3. Focus on the process, not the outcome. It's not about how good your artwork or writing is. It's about the act of creating. 4. Share your work. Sometimes sharing your creations with friends or family can provide added satisfaction and encouragement. 5. Combining creativity with other techniques. Incorporate mindfulness or relaxation techniques while you're being creative. Practice deep breathing or listen to calming music as you create. How creativity transforms fear. Engaging in creative activities can have a notable impact on how we feel and think about our fears. When you draw a picture or write a story, you're giving your fear a form that you can see and understand. This makes it less abstract and more controllable. The concentration needed during creative activities can also give you a break from constant worry. By immersing yourself in a creative task, you enter a flow state where fear doesn't dictate your actions. Bringing creativity into daily life. You don't need to spare hours each day for creativity. A few minutes here and there can make a significant difference. Maybe sketch during your lunch break, write a paragraph before bed, or plant a flower on the weekend. These small but meaningful acts can accumulate and help you lead a more fearless life. Remember, creativity is not about perfection. It's about expression. Let your fears be seen and felt, and then transform them into something new. By using creativity to confront and manage your fears, you're choosing to rewrite the story of your life, one creative chapter at a time. In the next chapter, we will discuss another powerful tool, mindfulness, and how it can further help in fear management. But for now, take out a pen, a brush, a spatula, or a pair of scissors, and start creating. Unleash your creativity and watch your fears slowly melt away. Chapter 8. Mindfulness and Fear Management. Fear is a powerful emotion. It can keep us from reaching our dreams, building strong relationships, or even trying new things. But what if I told you that you have a tool at your disposal that can help manage your fears? This tool doesn't require any special equipment, and you can start using it right now. It's called mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing without getting overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's happening around us. When we're mindful, we can observe our fears without being controlled by them. The power of the present moment. Our minds often wander to past regrets or future anxieties. This wandering can amplify our fears. Mindfulness teaches us to stay focused on the now. When we're fully engaged in the present moment, we cut off a large portion of what fuels our fear. Techniques for incorporating mindfulness into daily life. Let's look at some simple mindfulness techniques that you can practice to help manage and reduce your fear. 1. Breathing exercises. Our breath is a powerful anchor to the present moment. Here's a simple breathing exercise you can try. 1. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. 2. Sit comfortably with your back straight but relaxed. 3. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, counting to 4. 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. 5. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. 6. Repeat this cycle several times. By focusing on your breath, you give your mind something to concentrate on and divert attention away from fearful thoughts. 2. Body scan meditation. This technique helps you become more aware of the different sensations in your body, which can anchor you in the present moment. 1. Lie down or sit in a comfortable position. 2. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. 3. Start at your toes and slowly move your attention upward part by part. 4. Notice any sensations, be it tension, warmth, or relaxation. 5. Breathe into any areas of tension, imagining it dissolving as you exhale. By the time you reach the top of your head, you'll likely find that your mind has quieted down significantly. 3. Mindful walking. You can even practice mindfulness while moving. This is called mindful walking. 1. Find a quiet place where you can walk undisturbed. 2. Start walking slowly and focus on the physical act of walking. 3. Feel your feet touch the ground, the roll of your step, and the rhythm of your breathing. 4. Notice the things around you without letting your mind wander too much. Mindful walking combines physical movement with mindfulness, making it a great exercise for managing fear and anxiety. 4. Mindful listening. This practice can be done anytime, anywhere, and it helps you stay focused on your immediate environment. 1. Pause for a moment wherever you are. 2. Close your eyes, if it's safe to do so, and listen to the sounds around you. 3. Notice the hum of a computer, the chirping of birds, passing conversations, or the rustle of trees. 4. Allow the sounds to come and go without judgment or analysis. Mindful listening helps you stay present and detaches you from fearful thoughts about the past or future. The impact of mindfulness on fear. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate fear altogether, but it changes your relationship with it. Instead of seeing fear as an enemy, you begin to see it as just another emotion, one of many you experience throughout your day. When practiced regularly, mindfulness allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting lost in them. Reduce the automatic emotional reactions to something that scare you. Build a habit of responding thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Create a mental space where you can choose your response. Bringing it all together. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily life is a commitment, but it pays off. By consistently practicing mindfulness, you slowly but surely build a toolkit for managing fear. Not every day will be perfect, but with time, you'll notice a significant improvement in how you handle fear-provoking situations. Find a mindfulness practice that works for you and give it a try. Whether it's breathing exercises, body scan meditation, mindful walking, or mindful listening, each technique brings you one step closer to living a life managed by courage, not fear. In the next chapter, we'll see how real-life individuals have used mindfulness and other tools to overcome their fears and achieve incredible success. Stay tuned. Chapter 9. Real-life success stories. Introduction. Welcome to one of the most exciting chapters of our journey together. In this chapter, we will dive into real-life success stories of people from various backgrounds who faced their fears and achieved amazing things. These stories not only showcase the power of courage, but also serve as a testament to the idea that anyone, yes, anyone, can conquer their fears and unleash their true potential. Story 1. Jack's leap of faith. Jack always dreamed of becoming a pilot, but he was terrified of heights. Every time he looked out of a tall building or an airplane window, his stomach churned and his palms sweat. Growing up in a small town, he often felt that his fear would trap him in his comfort zone forever. One day, a friend convinced Jack to face his fear head-on by going skydiving. At first, the idea seemed impossible, but Jack decided to give it a try. He attended a skydiving training course and, despite his overwhelming fear, jumped out of the plane. The experience was exhilarating and life-changing. After that leap of faith, Jack realized that his fear of heights could be managed. He enrolled in flight school and worked diligently to become a pilot. Today, Jack flies commercial airplanes and inspires countless passengers with his story of overcoming fear. Story 2. Mia's artistic journey. Mia loved painting, but was always scared of criticism and rejection. She feared that people would not understand or appreciate her art. Her canvases gathered dust in her attic while she worked a mundane job she didn't love. One day, Mia stumbled upon an online art community. Encouraged by the supportive atmosphere, she started sharing her artwork anonymously. To her surprise, people loved her paintings. This gave her the confidence boost she needed. Mia then took a bold step. She organized a local art exhibit. Yes, it was daunting, but the joy of expressing herself was truly worth it. The exhibit was a huge success, and it opened new doors of opportunity. Today, Mia is a full-time artist, selling her pieces worldwide. Story 3. Leo's public speaking triumph. Leo was a software engineer who struggled with speaking in front of people. His fear of public speaking held him back in his career. He avoided meetings and dreaded presentations. However, he knew that advancing in his profession required conquering this fear. He decided to join a public speaking club. The first few sessions were nerve-wracking. His voice trembled and his knees wobbled. But with continuous practice and feedback, Leo improved dramatically. Thanks to his perseverance, Leo can now deliver engaging talks with confidence. He recently presented his innovative project at a major tech conference and received a standing ovation. Leo's story teaches us that consistency and practice can indeed help us overcome our deepest fears. Story 4. Nina's entrepreneurial adventure. Nina always dreamt of starting her own bakery, but she feared failure. She had a secure job and worried about giving it up to pursue her passion. What if her bakery didn't succeed? What if people didn't like her creations? After years of hesitation, Nina decided to face her fear. She saved money, wrote a strong business plan, and took the plunge. The initial phase was challenging: long hours, financial stress, and moments of doubt. But Nina's love for baking kept her going. Her bakery soon attracted a loyal customer base, and her unique pastries started gaining local fame. Today, Nina's bakery is one of the most popular spots in her community, and she is living her dream. Story 5. Ahmed's fitness transformation. Ahmed struggled with his weight for most of his life. He feared being judged at the gym and believed it was too late for him to get fit. Excuses filled his mind. I'm too old. People will laugh at me. It's too hard. One day, a friend persuaded Ahmed to try a beginner's fitness class. To his surprise, everyone was friendly and supportive. This experience changed his perspective. He hired a personal trainer and committed to a healthier lifestyle. The journey wasn't easy, but Ahmed stayed committed. Over time, he lost weight, gained muscle, and most importantly, found a new sense of self-confidence. He now motivates others by sharing his story and showing that it's never too late to change. Conclusion. The stories of Jack, Mia, Leo, Nina, and Ahmed remind us that facing our fears is a crucial step toward achieving our dreams. They were ordinary people with extraordinary determination, and they show us that no fear is too big to conquer. As you read these stories, remember, you too have the power to face your fears and achieve greatness. The journey may be challenging, but the reward of living your fullest life is truly priceless. Chapter 10. Living a fearless life. Living a fearless life does not mean never feeling fear. It means recognizing fear for what it is, facing it head-on, and not letting it rule your decisions. The journey you've embarked on through this book has equipped you with the tools to understand, confront, and manage your fears. Now, how do you sustain this momentum and continue making courageous choices every day? Embrace daily challenges. Every day presents new opportunities to challenge yourself. These challenges don't have to be monumental. They can be small steps that push you slightly out of your comfort zone. For instance, if you're shy about speaking up in meetings, make it a point to share one idea or suggestion. Gradually, these small victories will build your confidence and reduce your fear. Keep learning and growing. One effective way to live a fearless life is to commit to lifelong learning. The more skills and knowledge you acquire, the more confident you will become. Take up a new hobby, enroll in a workshop, or read books on subjects that interest you. The act of learning itself can be a powerful antidote to fear, as it equips you with tools to handle new and unfamiliar situations. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people you surround yourself with can either feed your fears or help you conquer them. Seek out relationships that encourage growth, positivity, and courage. Share your fears and aspirations with friends and family who can provide support and possibly even join you in facing your fears. The encouragement of a supportive community can be incredibly empowering. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, acknowledging your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice can help you manage fear by making you more aware of your triggers and responses. When you feel fear creeping in, take a few deep breaths. Ground yourself in the present moment and acknowledge the fear without letting it dictate your actions. Develop a fear-fighting routine. Create a routine or set of habits that incorporate fear-fighting activities into your daily life. This might include physical exercise, journaling, meditating, setting daily goals, or practicing affirmations. For example, start your day with a few minutes of affirmations like, "I am strong," or "I can face any challenge." This primes your mind for a day of courage and action. Reflect on your progress. Take time regularly to reflect on your journey. What fears have you faced and conquered? What did you learn from the experience? How did it make you feel? Reflecting on your progress can be incredibly motivating and helps remind you of your strength and resilience. Keep a journal to document your successes and setbacks. This can be a valuable resource for encouragement during tougher times. Set long-term goals. Having long-term goals can give your life direction and purpose, making it easier to face fears along the way. Break these goals into smaller, manageable tasks and celebrate each milestone you achieve. For example, if your goal is to start your own business, the first step might be taking a business course. Each subsequent step can be a manageable challenge that brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Use past successes as a blueprint. Remember, you have already overcome many obstacles and fears. Use those experiences as a blueprint for tackling new fears. What strategies worked for you? How did you prepare? How did it feel to overcome that fear? Revisit these questions to draw strength and inspiration from your own journey. Celebrate courageous acts. Make it a habit to celebrate your acts of bravery, no matter how small they might seem. Recognize and reward yourself for stepping out of your comfort zone and facing your fears. Whether it's a small treat, a day off, or simply acknowledging your effort, celebrating your courage reinforces the habit of facing fears and encourages continued growth. Never stop challenging yourself. Finally, living a fearless life is an ongoing journey. Continue to seek out new challenges and experiences. Stagnation can lead to complacency, making it easier for fear to creep back in. By continually challenging yourself, you keep your mind sharp, your spirit adventurous, and your courage strong. Conclusion. Living a fearless life is about making a conscious choice every day to face your fears, grow, and challenge yourself in new ways. It's a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and continuous improvement. Remember, fear is a natural part of life, but it does not have to control you. With the tools and strategies you've learned, you are more than capable of facing any challenge that comes your way. Keep pushing your boundaries, embracing your uniqueness and living your life with courage and creativity. Your fearless journey is just beginning. We have come to the end of this book. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to you for joining us today to absorb the wisdom of this incredible audiobook. We are incredibly grateful to have you as part of our community. By tuning into our audiobooks, you are not only enriching your own life, but also contributing to a ripple effect of positivity that can touch countless others. Your commitment to self-growth is both commendable and essential in these times. Remember, the power to change the world begins within each of us. We encourage you to comment below with your top learnings from this book. Let us know what resonated with you the most, and more importantly, which lessons you are planning to implement in your life. By openly declaring the new habits and principles you wish to adopt, you not only create accountability for yourself, but also inspire others in our community to strive for similar growth. Remember, sharing your breakthroughs and goals fosters a supportive network that can help you stay on track. Together, we can build an empowering circle of accountability, motivation, and success. Keep shining, keep growing, and continue spreading that incredible positive energy. Together we can and will make this world a brighter, more beautiful place to live in. Stay motivated, stay mystic, and until next time, take care.